This is where the Jews are buried, the Christians are buried where it's green, and the Muslims are buried right by the wall.
All three religions are here, separated by nothing.
They're born together, they're buried together, and yet they can't live together.
We live in a world of conflicts. Some are as old as time. Others can happen overnight. I'm Mariana van Zeller. As a correspondent, I've traveled around the globe and experienced conflict zones firsthand.
I want this now.
I know hope begins when two sides can come together, and nothing brings people together more than great food. So I asked my friend, acclaimed chef Michael Voltaggio, to join me. We have one goal: to gather people from all sides of a conflict around the table. One at a time, and see if breaking bread can lead to breaking borders. It's called the mother of all conflicts. Michael and I are heading to Jerusalem to dig into the ever-changing, volatile Israeli-Palestinian struggle.
I'm always excited about cooking a meal. What makes me nervous about this particular meal is satisfying both ideas of what the meal should be about. We're gonna have people share food that normally wouldn't even be in the same room or in the same place together at the same time, let alone share a meal.
The State of Israel was established in 1948, in part of what was then British-controlled Palestine. Through a series of wars and failed diplomacy, the fight for land is still not resolved. Israelis see Israel as their birthright. To the Palestinians, it's an occupation.
You can see the whole city from here.
Right here, the golden dome here, that's the Dome of the Rock. That's the Al-Aqsa Mosque. The Wailing Wall, you can't see from here, but it's right behind the Al-Aqsa Mosque. And that's the Church of the Saint Sepulchre right behind it. You have some of the most important, holiest sites for the three religions. And this is a cemetery. This is where the Jews are buried, the Christians are buried where it's green, and the Muslims are buried right by the wall.
All three religions are here, separated by
Yeah, they're right next to each other.
Nothing. I mean,
they're born together, they're buried together, and yet they can't live together. Are you ready?
I'm hungry.
You're hungry?
I'm hungry.
Let's go down to Jerusalem then.
Jerusalem is one of the most beautiful cities in the world, but also the most disputed. Both the Israelis and the Palestinians want Jerusalem to be their capital. Today, the city is controlled by Israel, but it's split into two sections. West Jerusalem is the Israeli part, East Jerusalem, Palestinian.
Look at the size of the cauliflower. These are green almonds. Do you mind if I open? Inside this little furry shell, you've got an almond.
Wow, that's amazing.
And it almost tastes like a cucumber.
Can you cook with this?
Yeah, absolutely. Because it's equally as delicious to just take it, dip it in a little bit of sea salt,
And you
and then
read it
just
just like this?
bite the whole thing.
Shlak. That's what it's called when it's the big bread.
And this is spun by hand, and it's stretched to be that thin. You can see yourself through it, you know?
I can see you.
Wow, look at the colors. When you pickle cauliflower, it just becomes this dull, white, kind of unappetizing sort of color. And here, it's either like red food coloring or pink food coloring. Sometimes they use beet juice. So we hear about hummus all the time. I think the falafel is probably part of that same conflict. You know, I think everyone's wanting to be
Thank you.
the champion falafel maker, you know? This guy clearly is the guy, because as you can see, there's a lot of people waiting in line here for this. And number one falafel in all of Jerusalem, yeah?
Oh, you see, very interesting there. That we're basically still in East Jerusalem, right? Right behind you, there's two members of the Israeli police standing right there. And if you see on the other side, right there are the Israeli flags. Israelis are actually buying property here, and the Palestinians see it as a provocation to them because this is their part of town. So here, we're basically just stepping right into history right here. This is called Via Dolorosa. This is where Jesus walked with his cross.
So we're walking in his footsteps.
We are, essentially. It's amazing.
It's amazing.
Nearly 2 million tourists visit this holiest of cities every year.
This is where Jesus Christ, when he was carrying the cross, he fell down before, and then this is where he laid his hand.
This is the spot where Christians believe Jesus was crucified. A church was built around it 300 years later. They also believe that this stone slab is where Jesus' body was washed after his crucifixion.
There's Muslims here, there's Christians here, there's Jews here. It doesn't matter what religion you are, there's a reason that people are coming here, and there's a certain emotion that you can't describe that you get just by being here.
I saw that you felt very emotional there, right?
So to come here and hear about this your entire life, and then to be here, and I can't even talk about it.
So this is, arguably the most tense spot of the whole conflict. It's right here, because we have the Wailing or Western Wall, which is the most sacred and holiest site for the Jews. And right behind it, you have the Al-Aqsa Mosque, which is one of the most sacred sites for the Muslims.
Many Jews believe that the Al-Aqsa Mosque and the Dome of the Rock were built on top of the ruins of their oldest temple, the Temple of Solomon, making this site the perfect microcosm for the tension that exists between Jews and Muslims. Many visitors write personal notes or prayers and leave them in the wall. Having experienced the beauty and richness of the old city, we head to the American Colony Hotel, where we're meeting my local Palestinian source, Samir.
Samir! So great to finally meet you in person.
I've asked him to help me bring Israelis and Palestinians together for a meal in what is for some the most controversial location, a Jewish settlement in Palestinian territory. Not an easy task.
How's it going? How's the setup?
All good. As you ask, I fix a location in a settlement, which make it harder because I have three guests for you, which is settler, Palestinian, and Israeli Peace Now, which the Israeli Peace Now and the Palestinian are not very happy to do it, but I'm working on it and it will be fine.
So
What's a settlement?
So it's basically Jewish neighborhood set in what has been internationally recognized as Palestinian land.
Samir is taking us across the street to meet our first dinner guest. Munter Fahmy is a Palestinian who was born in Jerusalem but educated in America. He owns the American Colony bookstore at the hotel.
I have a whole wall of this political books on the Arab-Israeli conflict, and I like to refer to them as the depressing part of the bookshop.
How do you think the political situation is right now?
The political situation right now is no political situation. You have the Israelis who have the fourth largest army in the world. They claiming that we, Palestinians, are a threat to them. We have also a Palestinian leadership that is corrupt, that is ready to sign anything so they could stay in power. So for the average Palestinians, we are really screwed inside and out.
But you've agreed to do this. You're coming to dinner.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
And why have you agreed to do it then?
Because I wanted these people to really get an idea of how Palestinians feel about what they perceive as a very benign and innocent behavior. And I'd like to also see how did they get the idea that it is okay to steal someone else's land.
Is there a conflict in cuisine or any advice you can give me on what to make sure that at least I brought the right thing to the table?
There's no such thing as Israeli cuisine. If you steal someone's land, it's easy to steal their hummus.
Samir, you chose an interesting guest for us. He definitely does not.
So he has no opinion on anything.
It's a daily sight in Jerusalem as the city awakens. Thousands of Palestinians requiring special permits line up at checkpoints to enter the city to work. Today, Israel constitutes 78% of the territory, and Palestinians want to build their own state on the remaining 22%, the West Bank, Gaza, and East Jerusalem. But time is running out. Every day, Jewish settlements widely considered illegal are being built on what is arguably Palestinian land. There are three different types of settlers: those who are here because of government incentives, those who come for political reasons believing that Israel should expand its boundaries, and those who see their presence here as a divine destiny for the Jewish people. Sagot is one of these many settlements, and it's the home of another one of our dinner guests, Jewish settler and winemaker Yaakov Berg. Yaakov, his wife, and their three children have lived on their vineyard in Sagot since 2003.
Why did you guys decide to move here? It's sort of controversial.
We believe this is important part of Israel. It's part of our homeland, and we believe we should live here.
It used to be here, desert, for 2,000 years. For 2,000 years, all the world tried to come here and to work the land, and they didn't succeed. The land say, you know what, we don't want you. I'm sorry, it's a desert. We came here. After 1 year, 2 years, the land came back to us. Take a look around. It's unbelievable. We don't believe that. I mean, what's going on here? So we believe there is something that tell you came to your destination.
So there might be some tension at the meal because obviously there will be people there that have very different viewpoints from yours. And I hope you're ready for that.
I think we will try to be very open to say what we believe, and I have no problem that the other side will say, and we can argue a little bit, and I think the food will cover.
I'm learning that the meal is supposed to be kosher because I've never made a meal that's kosher.
Oh, so we're going to be tough.
I've never cooked without butter in my life, so
Jews are very complicated. Don't think it's a. I mean,
I need to get this right though.
Exactly.
Otherwise, you're not going to come to dinner. So I gotta nail this the first time.
we can come. Maybe we'll eat only the salads. However, but usually when you drink wine, you have good food. Everything become a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more easy, and.
Let's cheer to that. Let's hope that's the situation. Thank you, Chaim.
This conflict is full of barriers, both physical and political. We're now going to the Palestinian city of Hebron in the West Bank to buy spices for our meal and to get a better sense of what's going on there. But first, we have to pass through the controversial wall that surrounds the West Bank, separating the Palestinian and Israeli territories.
So this, not only is it around the city, but it's actually going through the city,
yeah,
and dividing the city in
also,
half.
most of the cities, they cut the families to two parts, which part of the family living in this side and part of the family living in the other side.
But the Israeli government would argue that it has secured, suicide bombings have gone down.
Yeah, but you can make peace and make people live in harmony together instead of putting walls in between.
The wall currently stretches more than 200 miles, and when it's done, it will be more than 400 miles long.
We are now in Area A, it's Palestinian town. So now we are inside, and you could see the towers with soldiers are controlling the area. And sometimes the kids came and throw stones from that area. Soldiers shoot tear gas and try to stop them.
The wall is very different from both sides,
Yes.
right? On the other side, it's very clean. Here, it's got all the graffiti and the sort of protest sayings.
Yeah.
Good men have only to remain silent for evil to prevail.
Graffiti artists from around the world come to tag this wall. Even Banksy, the notorious street artist, has weighed in on the conflict.
This is the dove.
Wow, so this is actually Banksy?
This is Banksy, yes.
The story about the dove and the olive branch was that Noah sent the dove to see if the floods had gone away, signifying that it was safe to go back and have peace on land. So this particular piece, there's a target on the dove, which contradicts the idea
Somebody
of peace.
tried to kill the piece, yes.
We finally arrive in Hebron, the largest Palestinian city in the West Bank, known for its food and its ceramics. Michael wants to pick up something special for the dinner.
Yeah, this one's great. I think these will be good to serve the first course on. Good way to set the tone for the evening.
That's really cool. So they say peace in Arabic, in Hebrew, and in English. That's awesome. I love
Now all we have to do is get the food. So let's go shopping.
Let's test the Amir bread. Marhaba.
This is the shirak, right?
The shirak, yeah, the bread. You do it for the shawarma. Khalid Jarrab, can he try one?
Oh no, that one's.
It's the restaurant. They just do it out on the street.
Ah, you gotta stop talking to me.
Good job! Good job! You're actually good at this. That's amazing.
Did I do a good job?
Yeah, very good.
Thank you.
Most of that bread go to the restaurants.
It's also called lapa. Is that also the other?
Yeah,
Lapa.
exactly. You do lafa.
Can I have a job?
إذا بدك شغيل نشتغل معاه. He will come to work with you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
To get some spices that Michael needs for the meal, we head into the old part of Hebron in the Palestinian West Bank. This is the only city where Jewish settlers and Palestinians literally live on top of each other, and where tension is at its highest.
This is the old city market, where you can find spices, cheese, yogurt, all the nice stuff. Want to buy some spices? Za'atar?
Get some
Za'atar, yeah. And Hebron is the best za'atar.
200 grams. Maybe we should take a little sumac too, so we can adjust the flavor.
Exactly.
Yeah. Look at the color of that too. How bright red it is. That's how you know it's fresh. It tasted by itself. It tastes like lemon.
It's delicious. What's all this garbage here? Why is there a net? This is your shop?
This is my shop, and before me, my daddy's shop.
What is this
Well,
net?
this metal net and this fence, we done it, shopkeepers, to protect ourselves and protecting visitor from the settlers, the Jewish settlers' garbage. They live on top of us above these shops. And they throw all kind of garbage and the trash. You could see like small stones, glass, bottles, nappies, dirty water, bleach, urine, rotten eggs, and all that happens in front of the soldiers' eyes. Military army watching tower on that building.
Oh, yeah. Why do they throw stuff down here?
Like what I said, they want to kick us outside
To try and kick you guys out?
Yes.
Thanks.
We are not animals, we are not dogs down here because we respect everybody on this earth.
This has to be against the law, though. Is
Yeah.
there anything the Palestinian police can do to prevent this sort of vandalism from
Palestinian
happening
police is
on
not
his
allowed
business?
to come in here.
Nearby, Israeli soldiers begin to sweep the area. Something is clearly happening.
What are they protecting them from?
From kids. They are opening the gate. Heavy security, of course.
Oh, they have dogs.
Every Saturday on Shabbat, Jewish people tour the old town of Hebron, a city they believe is part of their Holy Land.
This is our land. They're not supposed to come in here. And they don't allow us to go to theirs.
So why are they coming
Why
here?
they're coming here?
The settlers living here arrange these tours for Jews visiting from all over the world, in the hopes that they will become residents here as well. Combat-ready police are guarding them. The Palestinians who live here feel these weekly tours are an insult.
So you're from LA?
Yes, I'm from LA.
And you're part of this tour?
Yeah, I come here about once a month.
How do you feel about having all this protection? Do you think it's necessary, or?
I think it's necessary. I think it's a shame that it's necessary.
So you guys feel that you need this military presence to defend you
I
guys?
think we need it. Like, you know, there's Jews get killed here. If you look around in our neighborhood, there are signs everywhere. The Jews literally getting killed. There's a monument. So it's kind of sad.
Would you guys have any issues with both sides just coexisting and getting along?
If that were the case, I wouldn't have a problem. But I don't think that's realistic.
Whoever planned those ideas in your brain, who's wrong.
1929 Hebron Massacre.
He's very wrong.
It was the first time that I saw you getting angry.
Because he just came here and everybody planting in his head that the Palestinian will kill you.
So you felt you needed to say something?
Yeah, I have to because he's still young. We have to teach our kids to love each other and not to hate each other. I will not give you my
It feels like you're in the middle of a war zone. Except
you are.
It's
I mean,
families, children, soldiers, right or wrong, this side or that side. It just doesn't feel right.
Does this being here today, does it make you nervous about the meal tomorrow?
I'm not nervous about the meal. I mean, the food hopefully will taste good. It's just a matter of whether or not we can keep the guests at the table.
It's a lot to digest and not easy to understand. We know we have two strong and opinionated dinner guests, but it's time for me to meet the third. Yariv Oppenheimer is the director of Peace Now, an Israeli organization that advocates for the end of Jewish settlements and for separate states for Israelis and Palestinians, a policy that is known as the two-state solution.
Why did you stop here? Where are we?
We are in the heart of the West Bank, and this place for us symbolizes the conflict. It's look very pastoral, it's look very nice, it's look even quiet and beautiful, but the conflict is really alive, and you can see how the settlers are trying to take over more top of the hills in order to create this place for themselves.
Why is this important for you? Why did you join Peace Now?
I believe that Israel and the Palestinians should live next to each other in two different states. I believe in democracies, in the value that everyone has the same rights. And in the West Bank, this is not the case. And this is why I think Israel has to pull out from the West Bank to have two-state solution and to bring also peace for us and the Palestinians. I'm afraid that in few months or years, we will miss the time of quiet like it is today, because eventually the Palestinians will raise up again and will say, either give us citizenship and we all going to live in one state, a binational state, or either give us our own land, our own state, this will happen eventually.
So we've invited you to have dinner at the settlement with us. And how do you feel about that?
I have some mixed feelings because I don't want to sit in the settlements and to eat in the settlements, but because this is going to be with Palestinians talking about the conflict and also serving food that is not coming from the settlement, I'm ready to do it.
Thank you so much for agreeing
Thank
to do
you.
this. And this is going to be the first time that you're going to actually have a meal at a settlement. This is pretty epic for you.
Yeah, this will be, I guess, the first and the last meal, I guess.
It's clear that this will be a very interesting dinner. My worry is that it will become too heated. For Michael, the guests' dietary restrictions add an extra challenge.
It'll be my first kosher meal that I've ever prepared. It's not just turning on the stove and cooking for 12 people. It's turning on the stove, cooking for 12 people, and understanding the needs of each and every guest that's at the table. I mean, if I buy the wrong ingredient from the wrong person, or the animal gets slaughtered the wrong way, or the produce was raised on the wrong land, or the wine doesn't come from the right place, there's all these things. And for me, it's like, I just want to write a menu. And that's the part I think that makes me the most nervous.
It's an extra challenge for you. And especially after this long day that we've had. I mean, Hebron was incredible.
You're standing right in the center of it, and it's happening all around you. There's no words that can describe the emotions that you feel at that moment. It's not this side or that side, it's, is it even safe to be here? Well, here's to at least peace at one meal.
Indeed.
Today is the big day. Michael is about to make his first kosher meal, so he's looking for some last-minute advice. Machne Yehuda is Jerusalem's hottest new restaurant, and chef Uri Navon has taken Israeli cuisine to a whole new level.
This is a hanger steak of beef here. Not only does it look cool, like the presentation's amazing, but the flavor is so delicious.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can tell there's a chef back there making the food.
More coming.
This is brains, balls, and sweetbreads. You eat balls?
Yeah. It's very tasty.
Calamari. It's got some confit onions, tomatoes. There's some tahini in there as well. Chef. So we're loving everything. We've got some guests tonight that normally probably wouldn't speak to each other.
All right.
And now they're going to sit down and have dinner together. I've got so many guidelines that are telling me how to cook this meal, and I don't even know where to start.
You know what they're saying? 2 Jewish people, 3 opinions. Doesn't matter where you're from or who you are. You're hungry, and you like food, and you like to eat. Everybody likes to eat, so food can really make people go closer.
What are the main rules?
You don't mix dairy with meat. No seafood, no pork. That's okay.
Can I find everything that I need here?
In the market, everything.
In the market here?
All of the market is kosher. What's special about this market that you get to see these ingredients here while you can't find them anywhere else in Israel.
So obviously several cultures can coexist around the dinner table if the food is good enough. Chef, thank you so much.
Shalom.
Big one. Garam masala. Everything here's kosher, 100%.
He have certificate that it's kosher.
Does every shop here have to have that certificate? Yes. I want to have a boneless shoulder.
Stamping our receipt to show that it's a kosher butcher. Yeah. You are kosher now. Let's go.
Let's go talk.
Now, the real work begins for Michael at Tanya Winery. He's in a strange kitchen with limited time and equipment, no help, and making his first ever kosher meal. As Michael prepares what I know will be an amazing meal, I meet with Yoram Cohen, our host. Yoram is a true Renaissance man. He's been making his award-winning kosher wines at his home in Ofra, one of the Jewish settlements north of Jerusalem, since 2001.
So your vineyard is located in an area that is controversial because for many, according to international law, it's Palestinian land.
I don't agree with you that this is a Palestinian land.
So you're living here because you believe that this is your land.
I don't believe, I know.
You know this is your land.
Yeah. Christian, Palestinian, Arabic, and Jew, and we can live together. It's no problem. No problem. We just have to talk. Just have to talk.
So tonight might be a good start for that. We're all going to talk. Sit down, eat a wonderful meal, and talk.
I'm really starting to get anxious about the dinner. The intensity and scale of this conflict is enormous. New settlements are constantly being built on Palestinian land, and rockets are often fired by Palestinian militants into Israel. It inflames both sides of this volatile struggle, affecting everybody's lives. And we're right in the middle of it, at Ofra, a Jewish settlement bordering the Palestinian village of Silwad. Munther, Yariv, and Yaakov each feel very passionate about their beliefs. The problem is their views could not be more contradictory. That is the conflict in a nutshell.
Oh, this has to be in English.
Wow.
More space, more space.
In 5 minutes.
All right, I think that'll be enough. The first thing we have here is what I call a Arabic Israeli California salad.
Nice.
Got it? So underneath the avocado, you've got all the chopped vegetables with the sumac, the olive oil, the lemon juice, the hearts of the tomato. Over here, you have Samir. You got to help me with my pronunciation. Mutabal.
Can you say it again?
Mutabal.
No.
How do you say it?
Michael, come on. Mutabal.
Mutabal. All right.
Good, great.
We ate a lot of hummus while we were here. We found fresh green chickpeas, made hummus from it. The potatoes are smoked over wood that we found in the wild. Here we have chicken tangine, almonds, olives, dates, spicy sauce. Somebody asked for spice. To go with that, we have a couscous here, but the couscous is made out of raw cauliflower that's been turned into couscous. And then here we have shakshuka. Every morning in the hotel where we're staying, they serve this egg dish where there's tomato stew on the bottom with eggs that are cooked on the top. I cook some lamb in there as well. And then tomatoes, spices, onions, and then on top is all some asparagus. And then finally, we have the shoulder of a kosher lamb with tomatoes and onions, paprika. You guys ready?
Looks amazing.
We say in the States, dig in.
Okay.
You cook it with?
Love.
With love.
As we dig into Michael's fantastic meal, one of Yoram's daughters decides to join us. It'll be nice to include a youthful perspective to the discussion.
I will say that this is the first and the last time that I enjoyed the conflict. For sure.
For you guys, it's actually, you told me it was the first time that you were sharing a meal at one table with Palestinians. And for you guys, it's the first time that you're actually enjoying a meal at a settlement. How does that feel for you all?
To be here and, eat with us and be here and enjoy and talk about the conflict. I think this is really something that I appreciate. If you really want to start dialogue, this is the only way.
How about for you guys?
Well, for me, it's really a different experience that I have never thought in my imagination that I would be sitting in a house of a settler. We are all human beings, that we are all living in this country, very limited piece of land called Israel and Palestine. I hope I would be able to convince my guests and my hosts that the best thing for them to do is really to just wind up and go home.
You mean Europe?
No, go back to Israel, to your country, which we have basically accepted based on the 1967 border. If you do that, then everybody would be very, very happy, indeed.
I totally believe that best interest for Israel, that Palestine will be a state next to Israel. And this is why I will not be happy to go and to be in a settlement or to eat food from the settlements or to buy wine from the settlements. Not because I don't like these people are great. It's not personal. It's ideological and it's about values.
Do you agree that the only way to have peace, and this is what they agree, that the only way to have peace here in this territory is to have two distinct countries that respect each other?
No.
Do you agree with that?
No. I think completely opposite. We need to live together, first of all. Second, we don't need to control the Palestinians.
So why do you do it?
Because we're forced to do that, but we don't want to do that. And wait a minute.
Why
and now,
are you forced? Why are you forced?
Because if we will stay here, the Palestinians will kill us.
So Yaakov believes that if there was to be a free Palestinian country, separate country, they wouldn't be able to be safe, secure.
For security reasons, Israel is the fourth largest army in the world. We have no navy, no air force. We have nothing. So it can wipe us off the earth in less than 24 hours. All we are asking is that to live on our 22%, which is the West Bank and Gaza and East Jerusalem. If you're really, really, really serious about peace, you should just accept what 78%. It's okay, have it. You know, you are really part of the biggest obstacle to peace in this part of the world is the illegal Israeli settlements and people who look like really nice to have dinner with. You are very, very more dangerous, I have to say to you in your face, than a terrorist. You know, you are really part of the biggest obstacle to peace in this part of the world is the illegal Israeli settlements and people who look like really nice to have dinner with. You are very, very more dangerous, I have to say to you in your face, than a terrorist. Because the mentality that you have, that
what?
That it's an apartheid mentality, which is very dangerous because you think because you are Jewish, you have more rights than me. I am here on a tourist visa for 14 years in my own country of birth.
Why?
Because I made a crime. I went to America to study. When I came back, they said only people like you, with a Jewish mother, is allowed here.
The source of the conflict is that if you are an Israeli, a settler or Israeli living inside Israel, it doesn't matter if you are Jewish or not, but if you are Israeli, you have full rights. If you are Palestinians, you don't have full rights. I don't know any democratic state that you got one state, but some of the citizens can vote for one parliament, and the other citizens can vote for a different parliament.
Did you ever heard about
I never
United
heard
States of
about
America?
it. Are you offering the Israelis and the Palestinians to vote for one president? So you have to give everyone the right to vote. You want occupation, but you want occupation with makeup.
Prove me. And I'm sorry. If you are the bad guy in the neighborhood, you know, you need to prove. I'm sorry. I don't trust you. Because till now, you tried to kill me. In 48, they cut the land. They give you your peace, they gave us our peace. Who started the war? Did we start the war? You started the war. In 67, again, you start the war. In 73, you again start the war. Then you prove me in it. 20 years, it's okay, fair enough. 30 years, that you are a nice guy, that you are not trying. The terrorist attack is finished. Believe me, we'll give you everything.
International law says that your presence here is tantamount to war crimes. International law, you are the bad guys.
So I'll tell you about, okay, I have an answer for that.
Yeah.
Your international law, the nice international law, sent the Jews 60 years ago to Auschwitz, and they say nothing.
Before the UN was even existing. And I want to give you a reminder.
No, I'm
don't use the Holocaust.
I'm sorry, you use your Holocaust, you use your suffer for a long time. I didn't say
One at a time, one at a time.
We are not using the Holocaust.
Jewish people who died.
In the last 2,000 years, we've been very weak. We always beg for nice people like United States of America, like France. Do us a favor, protect us. Now, thanks God, I'm not going to apologize. We are the strong guys. And because we are the strong guys, you need to ask us, you need to come to the table.
This is the conflict. What we just heard is exactly why I totally disagree with the idea of the settlements. The idea of the settlements is that we have the right here, not because it's democratic, not because of the international community, only because we are the strongest.
This land belongs to people who live across the street here in a town called Silwad. According to Israeli law, this is an illegal settlement. Illegal. What is built here, 436 houses, are built on Palestinian-owned registered land. And
I tell you what, take my house, take my land, take all. I want peace now, okay?
You're saying that although you believe this is your land, you are willing to give this up, your vineyard and your house, for peace.
All.
Yaakov, how about you? What are you willing to give up for peace?
I really believe that the Arif solution is the worst solution. The solution can be only that I will know Munder, I will know his family, he will know my family. And it can happen without wars. It can happen if we'll do businesses together. We'll spend dinners together. We'll have time together. And again, it takes time. I'm not saying I understand. It's very complicated.
Every generation has the time and the chance to change the reality. And I'm optimistic. Today we have peace with Egypt. We have peace in Jordan. We have countries, Arab countries, that are just waiting in line. So we will solve the conflict with the Palestinians. They will be ready to have peace with Israel as well. And I hope that Israel, the Holy Land, will be a tourist attraction, that people will come here to see not conflict, but to see how coexistence can be fulfilled.
Are you hopeful as well?
No, you have to be hopeful. You know, I really like to see this young lady, beautiful young lady, marry a Palestinian one day.
How do you feel being here? You're the youngest person at this table.
I feel it's very good that all the people hear and talk, and we need to understand that it's very deep. From this understanding, beginning to understand each other. Yeah.
I'm a Christian American, and I've just cooked dinner on a Jewish settlement in the West Bank of Palestine for Palestinians, Jews, and me.
Cheers to that.
There we go. Just mix it together. There's this chaos here, you know, and it's you can't really describe it. You can't explain it to anyone. You have to just come and experience it. you hear the Middle East, you think you're going somewhere where you should wear a bulletproof vest and a helmet, you know? And for me, it was that coming into it, and then I'm leaving, realizing that it's just a country full of passion, you know? And all the people here are passionate, whether it be about their religion or about their land or about their wine or about their families, whatever it is, there's a lot of passion here. And that's the one thing I'm gonna take away from this trip.
As a journalist, you always hear either one side or the other. And in this case, it was the first time that I was able to sit down and hear both sides. And it got completely hectic at times. And when I was trying to get them, both sides, to stop and listen to each other. But it was really, really interesting. Like we heard today from the youngest person at the table, right? It starts with conversation and meals like this and just having everybody gathered around the table.